Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be working on the question on the screen. X squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. How do you solve for the values of x? The first thing I wanted to mention is this. This is a question I'm going to be solving with factorization method, but I have already solved this using the quadratic formula. And if you would like to know how to solve this using the quadratic formula after you're done watching this video, you can just literally go down into the description box and then you can click the link and go to the video. So the first thing you have to do when you're factorizing this is for you, if you currently struggle with math, that is, but if you know how to skip this step, you can skip this step as well, is to write actually the general form. So ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a equals 1, b equals 3, and c equals -10. Now, to go on and solve this, what you would need to do is for you to find the factors of c. Factors c equals -10. When you break that down, we can write the factors of -10 to be 1 times -10, okay, -1 times 10, -2 times 5, and -5 times 2. So the factors of -10 are all of this information. But guess what? We want to make sure that whatever factor of -10 that we're working with, how when you add them up, they have to equal the value of +3. So now what we're now looking for is what two numbers? When we multiply them together, we get -10. When we add them up, we get +3. That is how you work with factorization. Well, when we look at it, -10, yeah, when you add them up, that's -9. So not what we're looking for. 10, when we add these two information up, we get a 9. So that's not what we're looking for. -2 times 5, -10. When we add these two up, we get +3. Okay, this looks like what we want. And -5 times 2, you get -10. When you add them up, you get -3. So this is not what we want. So therefore, the factors that we want for this particular question is going to be -2 times 5. So what we end up doing is we do x squared plus 3. Instead of writing 3x, we're going to put the factors of -10. So we'd put, instead of plus 3x, instead I will say x squared minus 2x, okay, plus 5x minus 10 equals 0. And this is how you put the question now to be able to work with it. So the first two information here, we're going to focus on that, and then we focus on this last two terms. So the first two terms, we focus on those, then we focus on the last two terms. So when we do that and we focus on that, well, we can factor out an x here because it is something that basically can be factored to be able to simplify our work, because that's what factorization is. It's all about simplification and working so that we can get and achieve an answer. Basically, that's what math is. But specifically for factorization, we're trying to simplify. So we bring out an x, and you have x minus 2 plus, you have this question here. You can just simply bring out 5, right? Because we're factoring what can be factors within these two terms. When we bring out 5, we end up with x minus 2. Whenever you're dealing with factorization, you want to make sure that what is in here equals what is in here. Always. If it does not equal, then your factorization process is wrong, and you need to go back to look at your work to make sure that there is no mistakes that you've made. So you need to go back and look at your work, because the information in the red box on the left side and on the right side before the equals to, they have to be the exact same. So when we do that, we're going to pick one of them. We'll say x minus 2, right? Then when we have x minus 2, we have this information right here, and we have this information right here. So we put that down and make another parenthesis, and we have x plus 5 equals 0. So this is how you approach all factorization method. This step is very critical. Now we go to the next page and we rewrite it. We have x minus 5, okay, and x plus 2 both equal 0. So you have x minus 5 equals 0, That's the same thing as x equals positive 5. Okay. Actually, let me look at what we're doing. Sorry, not x minus 2x. It's not x minus 5x plus 2 is x minus 2. That's why it's so important for you to be able to properly transfer your work. I know in the SATs you just have to do it on one paper, but always look at your work again so that what you're working with is actually correct. So this is just a simple error that we can easily erase. So I'll just copy and transfer correctly. So you have x minus 2 and x plus 5. So x plus 5, x minus 2. So x plus 5 here, you have x equals to negative 5, okay? And then the x minus 2 equals 0, so that will be x equals positive 2. And that is the answer to our question. So we have the two roots for x to be x equals negative 5, comma, positive 2. And if you go back and look at the quadratic formula that I applied to solve this question, we got the exact same answer. So yeah, that is basically what you need to do for factorization. Of course, there are problems that are much more difficult, and you should check around my SAT math prep series because this is where the videos are, and you're going to see more complicated factorization methods and how I solve them. And I'll advise you to go check those out. And I'll leave the information in the end screen, as well as check the description box in case you're looking for something else. I wish you guys all the very best, and make sure you keep watching the SAT Math Prep series that I upload daily for students. And do not give up because it takes time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.